Hey guys, T Kearney here today. I just want to talk to you a little bit today about, shall we say, what your dream life looks like. A lot of the things that, when I started out online marketing, people kind of said, okay, you need to go through the normal goal setting things. You need to write down a detailed description of what your ideal life would look like. What car you'd be driving, what house you'd be living in, who you'd be there with, your daily routine, all of these sorts of things. And essentially just kind of get back to that thing of, I didn't really know what it was then that I really wanted. And I was having trouble kind of figuring that out in my head and getting a picture of it, if you like. So, over time I kind of got better at it and was writing down certain things that I really liked. But then I started realising that, well, how am I supposed to know what my ideal house looks like if I've never actually gone looking for a house? I've been into my friends' houses, relations' houses, but essentially most of those houses aren't that different. They're all similar to the house I grew up in. And there's not many things in those houses that I kind of walk in and go, wow, that's a really good idea, because essentially all of those houses are houses in the States, built kind of standard. They're not built on the basis of the people living in them. They're built on a basis of cost and how cheap they are to build and what you can get based on the cost. And then when I started looking up houses online and cars that I wanted, had started taking some of those cars out for a test drive and actually looking up the different features on certain houses, it opened up a new thing out there for me, a new world, if you like. And that it kind of brought me back to that thing of, if you want something that somebody else has, like that type of car or that type of house, go and ask them. I guarantee you most people won't have any problem talking to you if you come up to them and kind of go, hey, how are you? You're driving my dream car at the moment, and I have no idea how to get one of them. Could you give me some advice? It's a bit out there, it's a bit strange, but that's the way I'm looking at things now, is that who can I get help from to help me get what they have? Like if I see somebody who's the owner of a company now and he doesn't work there every day, I want to talk to that person. Because before I always thought you had to do everything. You had to own the company, you had to run it day to day, you had to bring in new clients, you had to do the books, you had to do everything. Whereas now I'm starting to see that that's not what I want for myself going forward. And if I don't know how to do that, then essentially I need to go and ask somebody for advice on that. And that having to got into a stage where I always thought that, shall we say, I think it was pride that was keeping me in the mentality that I was in. And that it was that, I suppose, fear of opening up to other people that meant that I didn't go and ask these sorts of questions. And there are those sorts of things that, shall we say, we all do as kids. Like kids will go and walk up to a stranger and talk to them, or, walk up and pet the dog that they don't know, or, do all the things that they've never done before. And as we get a little bit older, we kind of take a lot of these things and we don't do them anymore. We may think, oh, I'd love to do that, but we don't do it anymore. And that I think I'm starting to come back around to that, I suppose, almost childish thing of, well, if there's somebody there who I think is doing what I want to do, then I will go and ask them for help and talk to them about, have they got any advice for me? Because the more people I talk to about that, essentially, the better the answers will get and the better chance I have of getting to where I want to go quicker. And before, that was one of the things that scared me. Whereas now I started off and it was like, I just started off, I went through an exercise recently which was the bucket list, 101 things to do before you die. And it was an interesting exercise, I understood the idea behind it. But when I actually sat down to do it, I got to about 20 things and then I started to struggle. And then I got to about 60 things and I really started to struggle. And I was thinking, how many things are there in the world that you could be possibly doing? And I'm struggling to come up with 101 things that I want to do. And essentially, you weren't limited to anything, but it was just my own thinking that got me stuck with that. And so essentially I started writing down a new list now, which was 100 people that I want to talk to. And that can be owners of local businesses, people who are doing really well for themselves, internet marketers, people who are earning millions, who have lots of assets, who don't work in the company, who own the companies. They're the people I want to talk to now. And I just thought that was an interesting thing there. So I just thought I'd share that with you guys today. I'll fly out this evening to the UK, going over to Momentum Day, and I can't wait, to be honest with you. I'm really excited and really looking forward to it. And it'll be great to just see familiar faces and just go and spend time in a room with people who love what we're doing. We love where we're going and we're excited about it. And to get some training on that, to get some, I suppose, just build momentum on that, and to get some actual positive mental attitude training towards where we want to go. Because I remember at the Momentum Day we were at last year, and essentially one of the guys who runs this business, Jake Cusack, turned around and he said, like, well, where do you guys think you are on this spectrum? And he had he had this chart that kind of went up like this, and at the top of the chart you had expert and people who are earning a lot of money. And at the bottom end of that, you had people who are not leveraging themselves well and they're just getting paid per hour. And essentially, he was kind of like going through this chart saying, like, you have to give yourself respect for how far you've come. Like, and he was asking the room, how far, where do you think you are on this? And he was like, up here, the top 10%. And we're like, no, lower, yeah. Came down, it was like 50%. Came down lower again. He was like, do you guys think you're above or below this? And we were all kind of like below. And he was like, no, guys, like, you guys are all be really hard on yourselves. You're all in this room today, so that means you're automatically up here in the higher percentages. But everybody who was there had really high standards for themselves and wasn't giving themselves any credit for it. And that was kind of one of the things that stuck with me, was that we need to kind of come back around to giving ourselves a little bit of credit. And I know I keep banging on about giving ourselves credit these days, but I'm just very aware of it. And just excited to go there again tomorrow, get a little bit of excitement and get a little bit of, I suppose, confidence and enthusiasm about moving forward with our business in 2014. So that's it for today, guys. Talk to you soon. Have a great weekend.